Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham daily news and update show for Wednesday, October 15th. Yes, it is October 15th. We are halfway through the month of October. How is that possible? I have no idea, but we are just lightning speed through it. And as you can see on what I had put up there, yes, oh my God, we're halfway through. And I feel like Andy Dufresne and Shawshank Redemption getting through this transfer one. Jesus Christ, the international break, which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy. And then we have another one in 3 weeks. Enough is enough. But a lot to catch up today. I feel like today was the first day we actually got some Wrexham news to talk about. And it has to do with Ollie Rathbone, Libby, and talking about the captains and the formation that Parkinson was talking about that he implemented the 3-4-3. So a bunch to get to today. And we are almost there. We are army crawling through it. We're almost through. But it's Andy Dufresne time. It really is, and we're almost there. And if you missed it, I'll put it back up so y'all can see it. I'll just bring myself down a bit. There it is. That's us right now. There it is. Well, and I got the quote up there too. Andy crawled through 500 yards of foulness on a baby couldn't crawl through and came out clean on the other side. And that clean on the other side for us is the Saturday game against Stoke City. Almost there. So happy. Yep. Like 72 hours. I talked to Ken last night. I was saying Ken would have the hours down. How far are we away from a match? And he did. He was like, it's like 72 hours from before and all this stuff. I was like, all right, well, he's got, so let Ken's going to be doing a show later on, doing pundit picks, just the tips, baby. So the tip show's coming up later on. So he'll talk about the exact hours of when we are back to watch football with Wrexham. Yes, please. Give me some. Lexi's in the house. What's up? Woot woot. So happy to Rathbone's going to be back. Time Copper's just doing some emoji stuff there too. Don't know what those are. And Gene says the problem with Rathbone being back is now either Dobson or LOB will be sitting. Well, great to be positive. Gene just went right in with the boot, right with the positivity. And greetings to TLP fam. And that's hilarious. Well, I try to be funny because, number one, we try to entertain. Great. Now somebody take care of Kakache's, Kakache's crutch away, get him on the pitch, and we'll start to roll. Yes, I'm going to talk about that, Mike Shane. When we get to talking about Libby, I want to see what you think, what the lineup will be. Ted Nelson's in the house. All the people are coming back. All the people are coming back. Oh, my God. It's a Wednesday show, and it's a hump day show. So anyways, thank you for coming in. Please smash that like button. Subscribe to the Local Pundit if you haven't already. We are like 85 away, 86 away from 3001. Share it out, do your thing, get the algorithm going. Back on, we went through a massive lull, by the way, but we're going to hit 3001 sooner than you think, for sure. And today we got a little bit of stuff to talk about. Again, today's the first day I actually felt like there was newsworthy stuff, and we could do a decent show. I would do a decent show. I'd say they're not going to be bangers, you know what I mean? But today we at least to talk about little Ollie Rathbone, talk about the captain. So I'm pumped about that. And Ted Nelson, please. Would Saturday get here, please? Saturday should be Saturdaying right now, but we're not there. LOB is a permanent starter. Ricky Q's in the house. Ricky Q. Yeah. So listen, Gene went back. I'm going to go back up to Gene's comment. These are good problems to have. Ollie Rathbone's not going to come right back in and start right away, but these are good problems to have. He is in the squad. Parkinson has some really good quotes. We'll talk about them too. I'm going to bring it up, then I'm going to bring it back down because that's ugly. That is ugly. And we're going to bring it back down. We're going to talk about it. But he's in the 25-man squad, and rightfully so. He's earned that spot. And Parkinson went in, and it's like having a new player right now. He's having options. We can change it. We can change things if you want to. Now, granted, I've been very critical of Parkinson and his actual subbing this year so far, especially in the midfield and up top. But what am I to say? Having these options, a different type of player, Ollie Rathbone fit and firing, ready to go. He's going to want to go out and hamster around that pitch. So it's going to be good to actually see. I'm not interested to see what the starting lineup will be against Stoke City and Oxford and Middlesbrough. Because if Kakache is back, I think the bench is going to be more interesting than the starting lineup. I think the starting lineup is going to pick itself. as we go. And yes, you could put a Dobson in there or a Rathbone in there. I think the starting lineup is going to be the interesting one. Dan Moore, what's up, dude? How are you doing, my friend? How are you? How is everyone feeling coming out of this break? And Andy Dufresne it out there. And I don't know if everyone's missed it, but I'll keep putting it back up. If I could put Andy Dufresne in the corner, I would. But we are just like 500 yards of shit, 500 yards of baby crap, and we're almost there. We are almost there. Oh my God. In 60 to 65 minutes, bringing the subs in. Damn it. There we go. LOB will not sit. No, I totally agree. All right, let's rock into this article. Get your thoughts there too. I want to, and I see you coming in there, Gene, or Black Canvas it is. Get your thoughts in. I'm going to read the article, the quotes from Parkinson, what's been going on. I think we've been doing a lot of work off. It sounds like we've been doing a lot of work on the training pitch. Yes, the gelling and the synergy and whatever else you want to fucking use. Sorry, Mom, for whatever it is. And it better show up. I think it's going to show up at Stoke City at the Bet365 on Saturday. So here's what he has to say. Ollie Rathbone has filled in the final spot in Parkinson's squad for the first half of the season till January. Remember, he can change things out. I think there's going to be some turnover in January as well. So he said, so it's a 25-man squad, blah, blah, blah. We know all the fucking rules. Here we go. So the 29-year-old Ollie Rathbone, who was an absolute stud last season. I was there when he scored that fantastic goal when we went up last season. Fantastic goal. So Parkinson says, I already put Ollie in the squad. There we go. He had a great 10 days, so he had a nice block of training now. He's been training. Now, he's been training. There's a difference between training and being fit for purpose during match day. Not saying he can't do it, but he has been training. So he's had 10 days. Marked it, 10 days that he's been training with everybody now. That's a good chunk of time just to get your legs under you, but it's not a good chunk of time to make sure that you're going out on the pitch with the team. A game is different. Now, I played at a decent level. I played at UConn as a walk-on. We all know that, you know. Yeah, shout out Huskies, go UConn. There's a difference between practice. We're talking about practice. There's a difference between practice and a game. Energy's up. Your anxiety is there. Not to say that Rathbone can't do it, but he's not match fit. We're just trying to get him back, getting the confidence back. After an injury, you're coming back. But this is a good sign. This rolls us into November and then getting into December. I'm not saying he's not going to be on the bench. I'm not saying he's not going to contribute, but we need to give him a little bit of time to come back in because your breath will get a little short. Parkinson will want to map out his time. Okay, we're going to give you 45. We'll give you 60. I don't know. We have a cup game coming up too that could be very interesting to maybe Rathbone getting some minutes there too. So but he's on the pitch. He's back and he's in the squad and he's playing with the team, which is good. Parkinson went on to say, we had a game arranged and the team were due to be playing, pulled out a couple of days before. Well, who the fuck was that? Which was frustrating. This is Parkinson. I dropped the F-bomb, not him. But we were able to have an in-house game last Wednesday. So last Wednesday, that was obviously a week ago today. So they did do an 11-11 in-house game, which is good. There's plenty of players that are not on international duty, i.e., Libby's not out there because he's playing with us. I'm sure he was in that game. Obviously, we know that Big Kiefer Moore played in 2 of the Wales matches, and also Broadhead played in 1 of them too. So our squad is basically together, minus Kiefer Moore and Broadhead. And Issa Gabore did go out and play too, but he didn't play in 1 of those games. So Issa was out. So that's 3 out of our 25-man squad that was out, which is fine. We know Kiefer's role. Kiefer's role's up top, causing havoc, getting in, just scoring goals, bombarding, getting in there. So I'm okay with that. Broadhead is the one I would love to have on the pitch with the team rather than being with Wales, but he's international, and that's what happens. So going on to say, we had a further 11. We've had a further 11-11 this week, and we all just have to prepare everybody for what's important period coming up when we start again at Stoke. So he's saying they had the 11-11 this week, and we have to prepare everyone for Stoke, which is good. You probably know that Kiefer Moore is going to come back and slot right in. Okay, that's the squad. I think the 11 is going to start picking itself. Once Parkinson has his full squad, minus Danny Ward, who's coming back in January, this 11 will take place. Now, again, I think the bench will be more interesting than the starting 11. It will pick itself. It really will. And we're going to talk about what he said about the 3-4-3 implementing that as well too. The summer signings, Libby Kakache has also returned to full training and is closing in on a return. Parkinson goes on to say, Libby's back in full training this week. That's this week right now. So he's looking stronger each day. Good. That's really good news. Not to say Ryan Longman hasn't earned his spot to play the position at left wing back over Maka, but Libby's our starter. We bought Libby in to be our starter. Parkinson goes on to say, and I quote, it's been disappointing for him and for us, but sometimes things happen and you have to go and get on with them. Interesting. We took our time with him and made sure he's right. So they held him back a little bit. We also did that with Windass as well. We held Windass back. We held Libby back. We want to get these on the pitch. We don't want reoccurring injuries. That's very tough. The only one, sorry, that's a lie about Windass. Windass said he was fully fit and they let him play. Libby, they seem to have pulled him back a little bit to get him fully fully ready to go for the rest of the season. And that's really, I mean, there's a muscle injury. I think that Windass and his ankle injury, I would have not played him in that last match. I don't think he had his best game, but alas, here we are. But having Libby back in the squad on that left side with Issa on the other side, I think is very important for us in this next stanza of games going into 3 weeks into the international break. I think we have 9 games. That said, he goes, Parkinson said, we took our time, made sure he's right. He did a lot of work, Libby, that is, with the medical team on the grass this week while other people were off. He's been working and now he's fully joined the squad and ready to go. So Libby is back. Rathbone's back and Libby's back. Rathbone's back and Libby's back. Let me ask you this. I'm telling you, I don't know if Libby's going to go right back into the squad. Like Parkinson, I would like him to. I'm not going to say at Stoke, who the fuck is bothering me? I'm not going to say at Stoke that he's going to throw him right back in. But I do I do think that Parkinson will ease him back in. So whatever's going to happen, Patty says it right there. I think Libby will be on the bench. Libby off the bench for sure as an impact player to start. But Parkinson's going to have to make that choice. Parkinson's going to have to make that choice. What he's going to do. Longman and him are going to be the balance. Now, do we think that Maka won't make the bench now? That is interesting because there is an article about having the captains, and Maka is one of those captains. Andrew C says hello. I'm going to go back to get some of your comments here. And Mike Shane, Parker needs to use his options to get loose with his subs. Stop the 75-minute subs nonsense. We need to get some new legs. I think that is our absolute crux. That is our absolute Achilles heel at this point. Parkinson's subbing. I think that's something. I feel like a bear coming out of hibernation. The international break is over. Club football does exist, and it's only a few days away. I'm starting to believe again. Yes, Black Camps, believe. Will be great to see Rathbone and Dobson battle out. Yes, and I think that's good competition, which is what we need. And Lexi says, I can't wait to see Rathbone and O'Brien and Kabore on the pitch together. It's going to happen, Lexi. We have this squad. We built a really good squad. We did build a really good squad. 1 second here. I want to answer this. I'll call you. Okay. I saw that article. Dave Pike, last chance. I don't know what that is. Did you see the Rat pitch? Yeah, it's the Wales game. I hope that I hope the Wales are okay. The Rat was okay. Who else is still injured? Hardy. We don't have any information on Hardy. And Andrew C says we held Rathbone back too. Maybe we did, but we don't have as much information on Rathbone. We don't. Matter of fact, what is the actual injury he actually had? He's got a lower leg injury in his ankle. So I don't know. I am Dougal. Can't wait to see Rathbone back on the pitch. I think you're new to the channel, but you're also a member. Who else is still injured? Shane agreed. Hiya Peeps, says Leap and Sarah. Wonder how Ashfield is doing. We don't have all the information. And Karen, How could you? Is in the house. Hope you're doing well. We have a little bit of rain here this week in Los Angeles, which is great. I love a little bit of the rain. I do. Here we go. I'm going to pull this over here. Moving on. So let's get your thoughts on that real quick. Rathbone's back. Libby's back. Rathbone on the bench this weekend. Libby on the bench this weekend. I think so too. I think the bench will be interesting. The bench will be interesting to see, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Mark Ketch says, let's use the subs like the MLB uses relievers. Let the starters run their legs off the other team, then bring on the troops. Well, I don't. Mark Ketch. Parkinson has been holding back his subs for an extra 5 or 10 minutes, in my opinion, this season. Don't know why, but he has been doing that. I know we have injuries and things like that, so that's something he needs to work out. That's his side. That's what he wants to do. I'm not here to judge, but I'm also here to criticize at the same time. That sounds really shitty, but that's what we do. We're fans, short for fanatic. Short for fanatic. But I think Parkinson needs to use his squad a little bit better. I don't think he's using the squad as good as he could for us to be successful. Dan Moore, Kiefer's assist on Broadhead's goal was great in the loss to Belgium. Moore, Windass, Broadhead, Lewis O'Brien, Schaaf, Kabora, Kakache. Damn, that's an awesome team to dream about. Absolutely is. And Patty's in the house says, Rathbone needs to make an impact before January. Well, that's probably going to be in November. I'm sure Patty will talk about that on his shows that he does as well, but I'm sure he will. Will he get the opportunity to do so? I'm hoping so too. I agree with you. He is part of the squad. He needs to make an impact. But I also think he's probably, I don't know, Patty or anyone else out there, he's probably a month away from being fully match fit. Maybe 3 weeks away, something like that. Who's on the bench for me? I would say I can't do that right now because on the top of my head, that is, I'll do that on Friday. Josh Raker, let's do that on Friday, okay? Appreciate your opinion. Thank you. Mark, always appreciate your opinion too. I appreciate everyone's opinion. What a great community we have. Lovely community. Lovely community. Okay. Now, Parkinson was talking about the captains. Which is very interesting too. Yes, we've had James McLean is the skipper, but he hasn't been playing that much. Matty James has had the armband that much too. So, as well as those 3 players, Connor Cody, George Thomason, Ben Schaaf, and Dom Hyam. By the way, moving on to another article by Richard Williams here. Awesome. Had spells as captains at their previous clubs. Parkinson feels there's no shortage of leaders in the ranks. And I agree with that. And that's one thing we talked about, signing all these players. We've seen, Captain A, Captain B, Captain C. We're literally Captain Wales at this point. There's so many captains on the pitch and off the pitch. So what I'm seeing is all these guys can't be on the pitch at the same time. Like Macca, for me, not a starter, a bench player if needed, but not a starter, but a captain off the pitch, I'm sure. Parkinson said, Josh is an experienced championship player, and I made him captain at Norwich. Meaning Josh Windass. Captains lead by example on the pitch and off the pitch, and I feel that a lot. And I think that is why I believe when we hit Stoke and we go back in, we're going to be a formidable side. And you got to expect that this will come to fruition. We'll get our players back, Libby, Kakache. When War comes back in January, I believe the team will start teaming again. We'll start getting that magic back. And I don't think it's any loss that Parkinson has brought in. We always talk about the quality of player, the quality of the character of the player as well, on and off the pitch. And I think that's something in the mold. And he spoke about that the other day, Parkinson, that's something in the mold of how they're building this squad, which is why I think those intangibles that we have, I think we have a good squad. I think, yes, there's millions and millions and millions of pounds being spent on other teams. But we have that core value in this club and what Parkinson is doing, bringing players in and having them be a part of the squad and being able to push us forward in ways that aren't in stats and numbers. That's my opinion. That's why I believe we could have an opportunity to still get promoted this season. That's why I think we are very special. That's why I think we're different. That's my take on that too. Matt White says, side for Saturday will be the strongest side we've had fielded all season, minus the goalkeeper because Ward is still out, but that's a good shout, Matt White. And McLean is a captain in the dressing room. You have to have that too. That's all part of it. Not everyone, lead by example in a way to show how to be professional. Doesn't need to be on the pitch, but lead by example to be professional off the pitch, just as important. There's a lot of players out there, well, not players. There's a lot of talented people out there. Let's say a lot of talented people out there that we'll take football for example. A lot of talented players on the pitch that off the pitch are a fucking disaster, and they don't make it. They don't make it because of X, Y, and Z off. So that's why it's so important to have all these guys and acquire the captains. So if you teach them how to be a professional, that's just as important as teaching them how to be a professional on the pitch and off the pitch. My 2 cents there. Mike Shane, would a top forward striker be available in January? We will be doing well enough to spend big and threaten to get a threatening striker to make us more aggressive offensively. Will there be a top striker available in January? Maybe, but I'm going to say no. My take is no. I don't think we'll be able to bring in a top striker in January. I think it'll be expensive. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think it'll be expensive, Mike Shane. I think it'll be expensive, and I'm not saying we won't do it, but who's going to give? I mean, we'd have to get someone from the Prem. I think we'd probably have to get someone from the Prem who's not playing. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we'd have to get someone from the Prem. I don't think we're going to get a Kone. I know he's just signed. Somebody like that, who I think is a top-class striker. I just don't see that happening. But I like where your head is at. Keep them coming. Yes, going for promotion. I believe we will achieve it, says Karen. There we go. Parky loves a good character guy. He does. More here. Captains lead by example on the football pitch, and I felt we have that. Obviously, there are players who've been captains at other teams, and I feel like we've got a good group where there's quite a lot of potential captains out there too. It's not quite a lot of potential captains there. There's captains at every level. There's I think Max could captain the side in the next 5 years, whatever. I think he had to have been in one of the cup games. He could. I think AO, good player, not a captain. Ashfield got that quality on the pitch. I think those are the intangibles that we have with this squad. I really do. Windass is set to continue captaining the side when Wrexham return. After the international break, I'm going to bring it up again. I'm just going to do it again to make everyone. Yep. Andy Dufresne. Just going to bring that up again. Just please end the misery. End it. Oh my God. End it. Then we would love Hardy and Smith and more. And loans in January could be interesting. Could be possibly, Patty. Moving on. Parkinson was talking about Windass. He's a good footballer. Talking about Windass. He's great at receiving the ball, but he can run at opponents, and I think there's key for those players in that position, says Windass. If people are getting it tight, you can run in behind as well, as showed in a variety of his games. Parkinson talking about how Windass has impacted the game. He's had 3 goals so far. He's 31 years old. He does play in the right of the attack of the 3-4-3, which we're going to talk about next, about Parkinson setting up how the 3-4-3, and not fully committed to it, by the way. He doesn't commit to it. But he said, yeah, he's a good footballer. He likes to receive the ball. He also can run through. He does great pass. Great passer of the ball as well. By the way, Parkinson says he shows he can finish. He's got 3 goals already, quote, and 1 for the penalty shot. Josh is a very talented player, but he works for the team as well, and I think that's key. Josh Windass is the epitome of a guy coming in, getting an opportunity, leaving Sheffield Wednesday and coming over here and hitting the ground running. Now, he's had a little bit of stop-start with his injuries, but that is the exact player, talking about the captains, talking about a talented football player at the age of 31, experienced in this league, exactly what Parkinson has built the core values of this team on. And it hasn't just been this season. He did it over the last 3-4 seasons as well. And now it's more prominent just because of where we are in the championship and how difficult it is in this league. So Aaron wants a striker from the Bundesliga. Aaron, is his son playing in the Bundesliga? Because that's the only striker we're going to get. Haim should be a captain, in my opinion. Haim's doing very well, Black Canvas. Haim's steady Eddie right now in the back. I wouldn't want to fuck with that. I don't see him talking that much, although I did see him yell at AO at one point. But, just so you know. But Haim's a good player. And Black Canvas, I love the shout. Another good player. All right, moving on. Last one here. Parkinson was talking about the 3-4-3 system, how they implemented it and where he's at. And he has options in 2 formations, which is good. We have seen Parkinson make some adjustments here. Jurassic Parky, that could be retired. I'm just saying, I don't care what anyone says. John Merrill's not in the chat. I'm sure he said no way. But here we go. Let me see here. Parkinson is pleased how the players have adapted to the change of the formation, but it doesn't mean it's here to stay. So remember, we were 5-4, 5-3-2, whatever the hell he was playing there. I don't even know. The 3-5-2 system he had, and now we're into a 3-4-3. He said after losing 3-1 home at QPR, the championship to September 13th, Parkinson, he switched to the 3-4-3. That's when he made the change. We opened it up at the 5-3-2 system, and now we're into a 3-4-3. Tactical Fortitude could address this tomorrow night with Aaron. I think Victor is not available, but Aaron and Ken will be doing that show. So this is something they'll probably bring up. Aaron will probably go 2-footed in me at some point as well, just because he had the worst take the other night about being mediocre. That's fine. I mean, I've seen him try to kick a ball. Even his missus is like, oh, Aaron. I love Aaron. I'm just kidding. Anyways, Parkinson talking about players coming back. He said we worked the shape in preseason in Australia, and we did see that, and New Zealand. So it's not a major shift. So we've been working on it for, 3-4 months now, which is great, although the players got to come in and adapt to it. He said the problem we had was when we changed a lot of players around, we had a few injury problems, i.e., Kakache, Rathbone. Now we got Wardy. Ward plays in the back, but it still affects it. And it took us a while to be able to get the personnel on the pitch we feel is right for the 3-4-3 system. We got plenty of options with both shapes. And if we wanted to change it again, we could have the flexibility in the group. Now, this is great. Everyone talks about Jurassic Parkinson, Jurassic Parky. Doesn't want to change. Now, granted, I think his subbing, I will flat out say, his subbing needs to change. I mean, that stubbornness needs to go. But after getting beat by QPR 3-1 at home, Parkinson's talking about, oh fuck, we need to change. We have the personnel to change the system, which is good. Allowing himself to evolve, which is going to get us to grow even more. The evolution of the team and the squad and Parkinson in this league is great. If you're so rigid, and I know he's a man of his own principles. I get that. But being able to admit, like, shit, we have better players to play a better formation and to go and win football matches, which is ideally what we want to do. I like the adaptation of that. I like that he's ready to evolve in his own thought process. I think you all do too. He goes on to say, we're pleased in terms of a lot of the performances. Now, performances are there. They have been there. The frustration is the results haven't been there. That's why I think coming back after the break, we're going to start to see results. This is not going to be an easy run. The next 6 weeks, whatever it's going to be, is not going to be an easy run. We have come back with Stoke, tough game, well-established championship side, have been in the Prem, Stoke on a Tuesday night, ain't great. Oxford, okay? Then you got a cup match against Cardiff City. And then we go back, Cup, then Middlesbrough, one of the two. But it's going to be a rough one. But the performances have been there at times. Now we just need the results. And, and also with the players to come back, Libby's, Rathbones, options, moving things around, Windass being fully fit, Broadhead getting used to the system, Broadhead getting used to playing in the system and, playing with the rest of the team. Great. Lewis O'Brien, and Shafe and Haim being in the team. I think it's great. This is all going to be good. So let's watch this trajectory, what we do for the next, I would say, 6 weeks, especially when we come back. Andrew, before I go back to the article, that's why I never believe others when they say that Parky is rigid and won't change. It's nonsense. I think everyone takes the top of the line surface bullshit and they run with it, in my opinion. You could see it's the same old bullshit. It's the same old talking armchair quarterback, for using an American term, at the end of the pub, sitting there having 9 pints, telling you how you fucking know that everything about football. It ain't true. It ain't true. Yes, there's tropes that happen, and I get it, and everything. And I'm not saying the championship isn't tough, but people recycle the same bullshit. I go to the pubs down here, all the same stuff. I love my guys, the geezers, but it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. But evolution, I think that I'm hoping that Parkinson will evolve his thought process and implement some of these new things, i.e., changing from the 5-3-2 to the 3-4-3. Fantastic. So that's growth. Mike Shane, if I remember correctly, every time we got promoted, we went to a league higher to get players better than our competition. That means to get out of the championship, we have to find premier level players. Well, that's a good shout, and we have done that in the past. And I think that was talked about at some point by Harvey. I believe Harvey said that. But championship level players having championship level players, i.e., Lewis O'Brien, Windass, Danny Ward, for example, Kiefer Moore, doesn't mean we can't get promoted. So ideally, would I love to get some players in the Prem to come down and play for us? Possibly. It's going to cost some money. Better be ready to spend. Or like Patty mentioned earlier up in the chat, get players that are getting loaned, come in. Issa Kabore is one of them. I think Issa Kabore, I don't think he's quite Prem. Maybe a sub on a Prem team. Maybe I don't want to say a Bournemouth. I would say maybe like a Leeds. I think he play a Leeds in something like that. But having players like him come in, more of those, I think will be valuable. So, but it's a good shout. Matt White says, still most excited to see Kabore and Libby on the pitch at the same time. Crazy we're this far into the season without seeing that combo. Injuries, brother. Injuries. It happens. It's not Titty City. We're not 6 to midnight. We got to get them all in. I agree. Parkinson, back in here. Talking about the performances. The stats back up with the performances are getting more consistent. Okay. Now we're going to stats and XG, he says, through the games. It's keep improving and on the performance level. Yes, we are improving on the performance level. Last quote here. Or actually, no, it's a whole couple more here. We've gone through some work with the lads this week and it has reminded us of what we feel we're doing and what we can do better. Looking forward to seeing us take into the game in the next run of games. So he's saying, okay, this is where I've been talking about how long of a leash you going to give to getting on the training pitch and then getting used to in the gelling part. So he's flat out saying the players are back, playing together. Now we need to take that, implement it on the pitch. I said I'm going to give it to Halloween, the 31st. We had a few games there. I don't want that excuse. Well, we still need the gel. That ends on Halloween. I'm telling you right now, we have the time. There's been 2 international breaks. I'm not saying we can't do it. But I'm not taking that excuse after the 31st. I'm not doing it. The players are there. They're playing together. Yes, a couple of people are in international duty, which is great, but I'm not passing the gel test. Someone said, I think it was Habs said it wanted to give it to Christmas, or George said it the other day, which is fine. I'm not doing that. We have players, good enough players to go and win football matches. Performances are there. Sort this out. Parkinson will sort it out for sure. 30 million would have gotten us one Premier League player, not a whole new squad. And am I correct that we have now around 10 M to spend in January window? I don't know. Maybe we do. And Sean says, with our players back, we will see the best of Wrexham. I hope so too. Wayne's in the house. What's up, dude? Good morning to you. Up early, probably pouring cement. Wrexham and the championship aren't as a big deal as Wrexham and the championship aren't as big a deal to the Premier League players as it is to us. It's hard to get them interested. Possible. Last couple quotes here. In every game, Parkinson says, we've created good opportunities, and that's obviously important to us. I think it's true. We have created good opportunities. I think the last couple games, our goal scoring has gone down. Our goal scoring opportunities have gone down a bit. I think Kiefer Moore was tired, and I think Windass wasn't fully fit. Parkinson says, but equally, the shape when we were attacking has been better, and the structure out of possession. Yes, we need to be snappier on the ball quickly. Norwich, we were on fire. That was probably our best game of the season. When to close, when to stay in our shape, Parkinson says, I think we've improved on that in recent weeks, and the key part of the game, so not chasing in 1s and 2s. So chasing shadows, controlling the game with the ball and without the ball. I think we're very comfortable without the ball at times, staying in our shape. I think that's what they're learning. So, they're not always, again, chasing shadows. Parkinson has been hitting teams on the break, which is good. But, being comfortable without the ball is just as important as being comfortable with the ball. Not wasting energy, using your formation, your shape, talking to each other, doing the shell drill, which is, I think we've done fairly well at. Jesse agrees with me. October 31st, they need to be cohesive. Yes. Black Canvas comes in. I completely agree, Josh. After this month, we can't be saying we still need time to gel. That's over. That's over. I'm glad a couple people agree with that. Parkinson, last one here. You got to be ready as a group to press. And when you go, you've got to go aggressively and look to win the ball back like we did when Lewis O'Brien got his chance against Birmingham City, which he missed. Just going to put that out there. Hazard brings axe, says howdy. Yes, I do agree with that. We were pressing very well. Lewis O'Brien did take the ball high up the pitch. Fortunately, it didn't go into the back of the net, but it is what it is. That's a good example. It's a great example of the team teaming together and also working together as a team, pressing when you know how to press to make them make a mistake. We don't always need. We're forcing them to make a mistake without over exuding ourselves, which was a good example. That could have been another goal. Probably should have put away. Won't hold it against them. Paul Kelly says, with all of our players back, we will close up any of our weak spots on the pitch. Yes, I think that's true. We'll start seeing less of the weaknesses in the squad. And if Parkinson uses rotation correctly throughout the match, I think we're going to do fine. Jesse says cohesion. Okay. Well, that was a fun 37 minutes, which is great. So later on today, there's going to be another show. Ken's doing Pundit picks. And then tomorrow, Technical Fortitude. If anything breaks, as you know, we'll be live on the local Pundit doing it here too. But that was fun. Get your thoughts into the chat. Get your thoughts into where do you think Libby's going to start? Think Rathbone's going to start? When do you think Rathbone will be fully fit to get back into actually in the starting lineup? Who's going to be on the bench? And we'll lead up to this week going against Stoke City. Thank God football is almost back. We are almost there. Andy Dufresne, let's do this. Andrew says, it's been too long without a match. I'm too moody without it. I think everyone is. Switch Lewis O'Brien back to Dabo's place and drop Broadhead to another 10 and run that play again. Broadhead scores, possibly. Jesse, that's a good shout. I don't mind that, Dan Moore. Jesse says, like, subscribe, and watch this space. Let's hit 3,000. We're going to do it. And smash that like button. We're going to do it. What a great community we have all around. Appreciate y'all. Wednesday. Go enjoy your Wednesday. Keep an eye out. Have your bells on for the Pundits picks later on with Ken. He'll be doing that. Be up. He'll tell you exactly how many minutes and how many seconds it's going to be until the next match. Game day build up, live watch along. Rextra time is tentative right now. Patty can't make it, so I might be doing it, which is a lot. We'll see. Or Ken. But definitely game day, we won't let you down on game day. But, life is lifing and things happen. So Matt White says, thanks, Josh. Only 3 more days. And now that I'm counting. Yes. Hold on a minute. Where is it? Wait, where is it? Oh, hold on. One more time. Right there. Right there. That's us coming out through an international world of shit back to football. And on that bombshell, we'll see y'all soon.